Hey there, this is Joe from Opslock, and I'm here to show you how simple we make hours of rest reporting in the maritime world. So in this example, I'm Captain James Cook of the Alpha Pacific. I've logged into the Opslock platform on my computer, and I want to see what are the outstanding hours of rest reports that my employees have signed and I need to sign now. So I'm simply going to navigate here to Hours of Rest under the Reports tab. I'm going to look for outstanding reports for my vessel. So I'm going to look for the Alpha Pacific. I click Generate Report. The system's quickly going to check which hours of rest records have been signed by my employees already. You can see here that all the colored tabs indicate a record that has been signed. Because these ones are green with some little lines through them, that means the employee has signed it, it's within the required hours of rest, and it's just waiting on my signature. If it was red, it would indicate that the employee has signed it, but they were outside of the regulatory parameters. Ultimately, for me, as the captain or the signatory, all I care about is this right here. So according to our system, all employees are within regulatory parameters. That's all I have to look at when I log in here. So I see this. See here, everybody's signed except for Frank Grimes. You can see he has a handful of records here that have yet to been signed by him. So when I go in here and sign for all users, this is going to take care of everything I need to do. This is hours of rest reporting finished, but it's not going to sign for those remaining records for Frank. So I click sign, boom. See here, Frank Grimes is still outstanding. These records have been signed by me. You can see that they have primary and secondary signatures. Secondaries I just applied, but we still have this handful that Frank needs to sign. So all I've got to do, there's no more come up to the bridge or anything like that. I call Frank on the radio, or I text him, or whatever's appropriate on my vessel. Frank simply pulls out his mobile device or goes to the mudroom or the change room and pulls out the iPad that we provide when we deploy Opslock. He signs in. He sees here, he just simply clicks on his name, goes to hours of rest reporting. He sees here, oh yeah, look, there's a handful of records that I haven't signed yet. He confirms that all this is correct. Maybe there was one day, he clicks here and he says, actually, I was off a few hours early on that day. So you can see my hours of rest have updated there. I saved that. You should see that record is here on July 2nd. It's updated to 15 hours of rest. Maybe on another day, I wasn't lucky and did a split shift. So I worked from midnight to 6 a.m. and then I worked from noon to 6 p.m. And you can see now I still have 12 hours of rest, but it's split up into those two shifts. I save this and you can see both of those shifts there. I'm happy now. Frank says, this is my shifts, this is what I worked. Boom, sign all, finished. All of those records were automatically calculated by Opslock. So we're tracking user shifts to help us automatically suspend work permits and a bunch of other things. But because of that, we can automatically create the record, and all the employees have to do is review it and sign off on it. No legwork required. So now I'm happy as Frank. I'm going to hop back onto the computer here, and I'm going to generate this report again. You can see that those remaining signatures for Frank have been filled out. So now me as the captain, boom, signature in place, and hours of rest reporting is finished. Now, some of you might be thinking, Joe, that's awesome. This is an easy way to get my hours of rest signed. But the reality is the reason I want these is in case I get audited by class or by a flag state, I want to be able to produce these records quickly. So to do that, I simply have to hop onto the platform here, and I'm going to change the report type from outstanding reports, which are the ones that need signatures, to bulk export. So this is what you're doing if you need to produce this record for some reason. To keep this from taking forever to generate, I'm going to say for my vessel, the Alpha Pacific, and I'm going to choose this date range. It's going to default to 1 month. I'm actually going to go back a little bit further. So let's say the inspector says, show me all your hours of rest reports since the 1st of April until the end of June. So I go here to June 30th. See here, April 1st, June 30th by worksite. Click Generate Report. This does take a second because it's searching all these records, but you can see here that it's pulled up the record. I simply now have to say print for all users. That's going to generate a PDF for me that I can print out. It's going to automatically collate all the records for every single crew member who was on board within whatever time period I selected. It's going to make a nice PDF that shows all the signatures of both the employee and the captain or the captain's representative, and I can print those out and hand them to any inspector who might be interested. One of the other things that's pretty interesting is we include in this, to again, just impress the inspector, if the records in this report are within the regulatory parameters. So they can see that right off the hop, shows how on the ball you guys are, and again, just makes all those audits that much simpler. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful. If you're interested in what we're doing at Opslock, in hours of rest, in work permitting,